To me, the best producers are always the ones that see the big picture and see the small picture. They see the film. They see what the film is. And they do whatever they can to help the director make the best film possible within the resources that they have. I'm sure there are some producers that look at films as just product. I've had a run-in with producers like that. I had a movie I was doing once described as a hamburger.
But your producer looked upon it as a...
Yeah, he looked at it as a hamburger, and I said, well, can't we make it a cheeseburger with onions and some spicy peppers and some jalapeno peppers and some chili maybe, you know. He saw it as just a product, you know. I think hamburger to him meant McDonald's, you know, where, you know, a million served. To me, if it's going to be a hamburger, it's got to be gourmet. You know, because you put a lot into making a movie. It takes a lot out of you. It takes a lot out of your life, your health, your time. It's a tough marketplace. Today's economy is very rough, but you realize that's the only way you're going to truly make the movie that you want to make, and that's by being involved in it as a producer.
What is the best way a producer can function with directors and artists?
To me, the role of the producer is as the facilitator. He's the person that makes sure that all the elements come together so that the director has what he needs to make the movie. Sometimes he does that with the director. The ideal producer, if the director says he needs a certain actor for a film, the producer's job should be to try and get that actor, to try and work out a deal with that actor.
How did you work with your producer on Never Die Alone? How did that work?
On Never Die Alone, I had my day-to-day producer was a guy named Alessandro Camone, who was with the Ed Pressman Company, and another producer whose name was Elliot Rosenblatt. And Elliot was the line producer. And Elliot was one of the best line producers I ever worked with because we had a limited budget. If you couldn't get it exactly the way you wanted it because of budgetary reasons, he would figure out a way of getting you as close to it as you could. And that to me is a great producer. A producer's job is to solve problems, not put up obstacles in the way of the director. The producer should be there to help the director make the film. And the producer is usually the person that owns the movie. So it's in the producer's best interests to try and get the director to make the best film. The producer, a lot of times, is the person that hires a certain director. And the producer hires a director for a reason, for the vision that the director can bring to it. The producer should do everything he can to help the director fulfill that vision.
15 producers on a movie. What is that all about?
Well, you don't know. It's interesting because you don't know what, you know, sometimes producing is a nebulous term. Sometimes a producer is the person that owns the rights to the book that the movie might be made from. He could have been the producer with the previous production company that had the movie before they lost it and moved on to this new production company that's making the movie. The producer could be an actor's or actress's boyfriend or girlfriend. You don't know. It's a nebulous nebulous term. Sometimes in cases like that, you don't know what that person actually did. A lot of times there's baggage. Sometimes the producer might be the owner of the company, that maybe they just signed the check but had absolutely nothing to do with the day-to-day detailed running of that particular movie. That's my big move now, to try and produce my own stuff, because there's a lot of films that I want to make that I'm trying to partner up with some people to produce.
And why would you want to produce your own damn movies?
I want to produce my own damn movies because there are some damn stories that I want to tell. And I've read some material, like one project is a book that I read, and it blew me away, and I just wanted to make it. And the book wasn't very well known. It's kind of like a cult item. And
Can you say the name?
yeah, the title of the book is The Coyote Kings of the Space Age Bachelor Pad. But from that, I contacted the author, and we concocted a script, and it's called The Coyote Kings. The great thing about being a producer is that as a producer, you're one of the owners of the film, so you actually have more say in how the film ultimately turns out. So I will be more than just a director for hire. I will be. I think being a producer and a director is the way in today's world, cinema world, to be a true auteur. I think it's the only way you can do it. You have to own part of the film. You have to have a say, a big say, in the final outcome of that movie.
Have you noticed that the methods for getting movies produced, is there a big change between the time you came out of NYU and today?
I mean, it's different this year than it was last year, 2 years ago.
How has it changed, would you say?
Well, the money comes from different places. As an independent, you're trying to get financing. For a while, you get financing in Germany, and that fell apart. And for a while, you get financing.
Well, like what, German? How would you get money from Germany?
There were, sometimes there were German companies that had a certain amount of money that they were trying to put into productions. Some of them were German production companies. Some of them were, you hear about some shipping companies where the head of a shipping company loves movies and wants to be involved in financing some films. One movie I was trying to make, the money came from a real estate company, a person that had really made a lot of money in real estate, and so they wanted to invest some of that money in movies, and so you find a lot of movies get made that way.
What did you take away from Spike as a producer? Does he give the actors a lot of? Does he talk as a producer? Does he select the actors? Does he?
Well, in selecting the actors, that's the director side of them. The producer side of Spike is putting the package together. I mean, after he's selected the actors, sometimes he'll get involved in some of the deal making, I believe. But also in terms of, the director and the producer work kind of hand in hand, working out the soundtrack, any kind of incidental music. I know he gets involved in deals, on some of the incidental music. I think if an actor has a problem, Spike will go over there and sometimes deal with it himself, I believe.
How is he as a businessman? Is he a businessman? would
Well,
you
I,
say?
I think what he's able to achieve, is quite evident. He's a very good businessman. I mean, 40 Acres and a Mule has done very well.